the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shir Adonai kol haaretz. Shir Adonai shir chadash. I will sing unto God a new song.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
So good to see all of you here and joining in. A few people joining on Facebook as well as right here on Zoom. And I'm sure we have a few people joining on YouTube as well. Thank you so much for joining together in sacred community. And this opening prayer and song to get us in the Shabbat spirit, I asked Ilan to lead tonight, in part because these are words that come straight out of our Haftarah portion this week that ask us to sing unto God a new song, creating a world filled with new possibilities. So let us welcome in this Shabbat, this day of rest that I know so many of us are looking forward to and need for our souls, and welcome it in with a little bit of light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
Just as we might do if we're having a Shabbat dinner with others this evening, let's welcome one another around the table, around our Zoom screens and Facebook screens, to this sacred space by taking a moment to wish one another Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat
And as we do that, we will prepare also to wish Shabbat Shalom to the bride, to Shabbat.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה. לראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי כלה, יללי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי כלה, יללי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובאהבה. צהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לבדותי לקראת קלה יללי 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 בני שבת לקבלה לבדותי לקראת קלה יללי 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 בני שבת לקבלה.
Messages that people are sending to everyone.
Yeah, but I don't.
And I want to encourage everyone just to stay muted during the service, to be able to chit chat and be together afterwards. For right now, to be able to do that so that we can all really join together in hearing our prayers and being fully immersed in our Shabbat experience. So all of this singing that we do at the very beginning of services is really to get ourselves in the mode of Shabbat. That after a hectic week of all different sorts of activities and things that have been on our minds, we need that transition to ease ourselves into this day of restoration, our day of sacredness. And then we call ourselves, once we're ready, to the Baruch Hu, our call to worship. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit.
Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch Hu et Adonai, Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai, Hamevorach, Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam va'ed. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai.
Love beyond all space and time. Your love enfolds your people, Yisrael. We receive it in your teaching, your gift of Torah, sacred obligations, discipline, and law. So let us speak these teachings when we lie down and rise up and find joy forever in your Torah and mitzvot. These are the very essence of our life, ours to ponder and study all of our days. May we always feel your love. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, who loves your people Israel. We turn to the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam va'ed. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there's a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, and that there's no easy way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נעזר בקודש, תורת נהילות עושה פלא, תורת נהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה, זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. יאי לה 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 לה, יאי לה 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 לה, יאי לה 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 יאי לה לה לה, יאי לה 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 לה.
Inside the human heart is fear. There's also hope. The two wrestle constantly like Jacob and his God. Sometimes one prevails, sometimes the other. Sometimes the struggle is sometimes silent, other times loud. But it is constant. Fear, hope, flashes of light and shadow twirling inside of us all the time. It is so much easier when there is love. When love is in your life, it becomes the context for it all. Love is the measure of a life well lived. It is the beacon of possibility. When you love, the fear is less harsh, hope a bit stronger. We turn to our Hashkivinu prayer.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. השכיבנו לשלום, והעמיתנו שומרנו לחיים, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו, השכיבנו לשלום. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
We turn to our Amidah, this place of personal prayer and communal prayer. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit.
Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Teilatecha. Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Teilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Velohei Avotenu ve'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Velohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Velohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. פדיון ליבי לפניך. אדוני צורי וגואלי, אדוני צורי וגואלי.
In just a moment, we'll move to our Misha Berach prayer. But first, I wanted to just share a small piece of Torah with you. So on Simchat Torah, I mentioned that the rabbis disagree about what the most important text in our Torah is. Of course, they disagree, right? But there's a few different ideas that are brought forth. And Rabbi Akiva says the most important verse in Torah is one that I think all of us have familiarity with. Love your neighbor as yourself. But in the Talmud, in the Jerusalem Talmud, Rabbi Ben Azzi offers a different possibility. He points to a verse from the end of this week's Torah portion, which says, "This is the written record of the human line from the day God created human beings, making them in the likeness of God." B'Tselem Elohim. And part of the reason that he picks out this verse is because it shows that all of us are of the same lineage, that every single one of us is in fact equal. And the second part, because all of us are made with some kind of sacredness, B'Tselem Elohim, in the image of God. I've noticed in the past several months, as all of us have grappled with so much in our lives in the pandemic, there's a lot more cruelty in the world than I had been used to seeing. That people can be a little shorter with one another, that people are just having a hard time. And I think that this verse is a really important reminder for all of us that every single person we encounter is created B'Tselem Elohim. Every single person is worthy of respect and admiration, is worthy of consideration, whether that be the telemarketer who calls us on the phone, a person we work with, or a friend who's right here up on the Zoom screen. There's a quote that's been put out there by people of many, many different names that says, "Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a battle that you know nothing about." As we begin the Torah this week, delving into some of the most fundamental pieces of what our text has to offer, let us go back and remember this important line by Rabbi Ben Azzi, that all of us are made B'Tselem Elohim. And as we do that, I want us to really think about people in our world and people in our hearts who might be in need of healing of mind, healing of body, and healing of spirit. So if you have someone for whom you'd like to offer this prayer, I invite you to write their name in the chat. For everyone who's on Facebook and everyone who's on Zoom, I'd be honored to say the name aloud. For all of our friends who are on YouTube, I'm sorry, I only have 2 screens, so I can only monitor 2 things at once. But know that anyone you're thinking of, their names are most assuredly in our hearts. Jennifer Hamburg-Grosky, Jerry McLaughlin, Bonnie Leopold, Trudy Kapner, Pat Wade, Lisa Adams, Ezra, Norit Batsaralea, Mary Sari Brown, Mark Hegemacher, Don Hess, Hayden Davis, Susan, Josh, Colleen Felberg, Bambi Polk, Sam Polk, Rebecca Rothstein, Erin, Katie, and Dana Meyer. For all of these people whose names we've written down, all of those whose names we hold in our hearts, let us offer this Mishaberach prayer.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Yishemerach imotenu nekor abracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei HaCholim. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose healing presence is with all those in need, as we all say, Amen.
We also take a moment in our service to remember people who have died in recent days. Of course, all of us were so saddened to hear the news about Bobby Arkoff, who died earlier this week, someone who was a credible pillar of our community, who brought humor and eccentricity and so much joy and passion to Temple Beth El, and whose memory certainly will stay with us. And Howard Euler, I know that you have a dear friend who also died in recent days. Did you want to say a few words? Are you able to do that? Oh, you're muted though, here.
I'm unmuted, I hope. His name was Mustafa Fletcher, devout Muslim, totally committed to healing the plague of violence that consumes the inner city. Totally dedicated to community service and human service for a 35-year career. Probably the most effective, one of the 2 or 3 most effective gang workers I've ever worked with in my career. And we remain friends even long after my retirement. He died the other day after a food giveaway. It was over, it ended. They provided over 200 families, is my understanding, with food, and his heart stopped beating. He had congestive heart failure, and he was gone.
But his memory will certainly be a blessing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Howard. And we're so sorry for your loss. And we're also mourning the loss in recent weeks of Susan Richmond and Larry Ponseggi. We're observing the yahrzeits of Eugene David Alpern, Betty Bernstein, Zelda Billion, Evelyn Davidson, Ruth Driver, Sylvia Fine-Farber, May Gold, Carl Goldstein, Solomon Gallen, Miriam Holtzman, Celia Igdal, Selena Igdal, Theodore Kurda, Jerry Lecco, Linda Lester, Ben Levine, Beryl Lieb Levine, Morris Ludvigson, Christy Meyer, Arlene Makovsky, Sheldon Miller, Gertrudis Monlajardine, Joseph Morris, Carl Muchnick, Father Lawrence Murphy, Barbara Nebel, Myron Newstetter, Paul Noble, Herman Oster, Morris Rosen, Estelle Rudin, Morris Ridikoff, Gerald Schoen, Max Schulman, Joel Specht, Edna Stearns, Sam Stoll, Sarah Turek, Betzalel Venerman, Aurelia Weitz, Isidore Weinschnick, and Kamrut Zeman. All of the people whose names we've said out loud and all those whose names we hold silently in our hearts, for each of them, let us offer this mourner's Kaddish prayer. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'amad divrach chorotei, ve'amlich malchotei, b'chayachon u'v'yomachon, u'v'chayei dekol beit Yisrael, b'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabak v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yinatzeh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudisha baruchu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechamata. Damiram v'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom b'mromav. Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru. Amen. Zikronam livracha, may all of their memories be for a blessing. And together let us say, Amen.
Amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru, imru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Shabbat shalom. I hope that everyone who is going to a Shabbat dinner tonight has a truly wonderful, joyous, fabulous experience. For everyone who is celebrating a quiet Shabbat dinner at home, I hope that that too gives your soul peace and nourishment, and that everyone can truly have a restful day.
Shabbat